Ladies and gents, this is Emma's Like Team Spirit. Today I got Marnie back with me. Marnie, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Good. Marnie, last time you talked us through change of mindset for how to adopt AI, and you had all these other tips. Today, I want to pose a question to you. So I'm a data guy. I wear the badge. I got into it because I love consumer psychology and customer insights. So like, why do people behave a certain way, so on and so forth. I've got the hump. And the hump is that I always feel like jumping into using generative blindly doesn't quite let it loose in with the power that it could be. And I want you to help us today. So I want you to talk us through your opinion of like how can people use generative AI tools, but with an injection of a bit more specificity, a bit more customer insight. Start us off, please.
Okay, this is where I would start. I would take all of your testimonials. I would take any of the customer interviews you've done, or any online or even in person, any information you've got about your customers, and that becomes your knowledge base, of which you either add that as custom instructions into your AI model, or if you are on a paid version of some of the AI models, you can create projects, which are also known as your AI assistants, or you can create GPTs. But I'll stay with the projects bit. You need to add that to a project, which is all the information about as many clients as possible that you've got, or as many of your customers as you've got, as well as do some deep research. And that deep research can now be done for free on many of the AI models, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity. And you're basically going out there and you're saying to AI, do some deep research about, and you add in details about your ideal client profiles. You're asking them to search sites like maybe Reddit, maybe Trustpilot, find keywords of pain points, what solutions they're looking for, what their messaging, what they like, what they resonate with. Go away and let deep research do all of that for you, and create a profile for each different ideal client profile that you might have. That becomes that data set, that knowledge base, along with the real clients you've got, because it's very important you do real clients. It's not just the researched AI data out there as well. It's the real clients. And that there is a knowledge base that you can put into an AI assistant, and you can customize it to say, when creating content, when helping me create new products and services, make sure you use this knowledge base and allow my business to be able to speak the way that these clients could speak, or to be able to make sure the message is going to resonate with them. That there will make sure that it's not rubbish in, rubbish out from the AI. And hopefully on our feeds, it won't be constant generic content with emojis.
Yeah, well, Marnie, I hadn't really heard the idea of building your own knowledge base from the deep research. So I want to zoom you in on a bit on this, because I get the first part. You're saying there's a data acquisition internally to make sure that you can provide that to an AI so it has a better knowledge, or a more focused knowledge. The deep research is fairly new. I think many people have heard of it, but could you explain it for 1 minute for us?
Sure. So deep research is where you are giving the AI a prompt. So you're asking it to complete a task for you. It will go away and it will search all of the websites of which you may have directed it to, but just generally where it thinks it might, because it will think itself where it might find that information. It will then analyze that information, and then it will give you a report from what you've asked for. There is like a skill set in creating that deep research prompt, but again, you to actually create the deep research prompt for you, which is what you can do. And I actually did this just yesterday. I can't remember exactly. I went onto Gemini and I said, I would like to create some deep research related to, and I can't remember exactly what it was. It was about potential clients that are solopreneurs that want to start using AI on a daily basis. So the outcome is I want to know who they are. I want them to be using on a daily basis, but I want to know why they're not using it on a daily basis. What's kind of holding them back? And I wanted to know if there's been any other products or services that they've kind of bought into that mainly courses, ideally, that they've bought into, that they think that they're going to get that result from, that's going to help them use AI either more or more efficiently. And I just talked that into Gemini. It came up. I also asked it to ask me questions, something that I hadn't added to that. So I also said, ask me any clarifying questions. And is there any other deep research you think that you should do to help? And it gave like 5 extra things. It then went and created the deep research prompt. I then went into, I did it on 2. I did it on Perplexity and Gemini's deep research, and I put that prompt into both, and I got a report. Both of them took, Perplexity was a little bit quicker. Perplexity took about 4 minutes. Gemini took about 7 minutes. Both of them over 200 websites, and a full report about potential solopreneurs and what messaging they need to hear, their pain points, what courses they've gone and bought, what solutions they're looking for. It was all there.
Good. I've run many actually, Marnie, so I'm sitting here nodding like I'm new to it. Yeah, I love this feature, and I would say to anybody, it's a real cool thing to try out. The amount that you can run, I think, has just gone up on some of the paid plans, so it's becoming a bit easier to do. Do a lot of them, and I find that the profile of those web searches is very recent, so it's a great product for depth. Great for the AI companies. It's that extra web search capability means that even if an AI model is 6 months old, the web search capability can go off and grab very recent information. So it kind of good for the consumer because you get to see recent information on it. Good for the AI company because they don't have to rebuild their language model every day or something horrific like that. So yeah, it's a really cool product. Let me roll you back though. So the gathering of data to build an ideal profile is one way for to get more insight injected into the process. The very first thing that you said that you skipped over was about the custom instructions. And I think a lot of people are at this level. So I'd like you to explain that one, please, just to check I understand it. So what are you doing at the custom instruction level to try to get your AI to pay more attention to either customer insights or specific information? How is that working?
Yeah, so I think generally, on a general base for your AI model, you should have custom instructions in there. And my general custom instructions include my master prompt, which is my business mission, values, my personal branding details, and the kind of ideal client profile information is the base bit. And I always have ask me clarifying questions, ask me 2 clarifying questions, and ask me, I can't remember if it's ask me or I think I say be my strategical thinking partner when replying. I always put UK English and I say, try and give me as many bullet points as possible because that's how I kind of like to see things. So I've customized my general AI. But when you're thinking about having AI assistants or just separate projects, you should have one almost for every kind of repeatable task that you've got. So I have my marketing insights AI assistant. I have a newsletter AI assistant. I have a VA who I may have spoken about already, who has 21 clients. So she needs an AI project for each. Now, if we take that VA as an example, let's take 2 separate clients. She might have a podcast client of which the custom instructions need to be about, so the knowledge base is about her client and the service and delivery that she does, but the custom instructions is about what she's providing for that client. So if she's the VA and her job is to take the transcript of the podcast, which we'd spoken about before, and to create a summary, some key insights, and maybe then create an article about that podcast, that would be in the custom instructions. You are an expert copywriter who is able to, again, I'm kind of just making this up, but you're an expert copywriter who is able to take the summary of a podcast and create content related to the podcast business of which it has the knowledge base. Now, that would be a simple custom instruction. I make sure when I'm doing custom instructions for each of my AI assistants that the custom instructions are written by AI. Because AI is smarter than me. Like I think I know what I want. So I say, this is what I think I want the custom instructions to be, but actually, what do you think? It will go, yeah, this is great. And let's add this in. And I go, okay, great. I'm not sure this is going to give us the right outcome. Ask me a few domain expertise questions. So therefore, it will ask me a little bit more about what I do as the VA that will able to add the domain expertise in. And then there's the custom instructions built for you. And then you go and put it in.
Marnie, I thought of another question. So I see from a prior call, you told me about how your mindset was that you use the AI to challenge back, so that you get some mental agility out of doing this. And I picked up there that your system prompts or your custom instructions have the same. Like, make sure you ask me something about this. Could I ask, to what extent of a dialogue do you get into when you get these questions back? Be honest with me. Are you there at 11 p.m. on an evening, like arguing with your AI, or do you just have like a couple of rounds to fine tune your thinking? Like, where does it go? Because I've never done this.
Really good question. I think it's mainly got to do with my personality, because I'm like dominant personality and I've always got to have control. So I feel like I've always got a bit of control. So that's why I'm like always asking questions. But I guess I'm not always with it. I'm either agreeing or I'm saying, yes, that's okay, but I need you to go to the next level. Because a lot of, especially now recently, ChatGPT have just brought out this, the way they, you're the data guy, so you could probably explain this much, much better than me. But the way that the recent models are coming out, they agree with everything you say. It's like, it's like the roses smell so amazing. It's just constant all the time. And that's actually really starting to annoy me, because I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want you to please me all the time. I want you to challenge me. I want you to find some golden nuggets in my brain that I could share. I want to add value. I don't just want it to be surface level. So often when I'm getting content back from the AI, I'm like, this is good. I need you to go next level. Maybe ask me questions to help you go next level. I need you to think outside the box. I need this to be, and I find myself saying a lot, I need this to be more valuable to my clients. Yeah, and I know we're probably running out of time, but I do have a question for you, because I think this is really important for those that listen, and I know that you've got the expertise here. I get asked the question a lot about like data security and sharing information, and I obviously go through the options of where to toggle off the training data. But I believe, I don't deal with any like, personal information much at all. And I believe that we now, where the generation we're at, we have a big responsibility to train AI the way that we want to be spoken to, the way we want it to almost be thinking, adding as much of our domain expertise as possible, because the next generation, my 7-year-old, this is going to be the go-to. She's not going to know any different. So I feel like we've got to do our job now. So I don't ever toggle off, but I would love to know your thoughts on whether we should and we shouldn't, why we should, why we shouldn't.
In general day-to-day, I don't have a strong perspective, but I'll try and answer. And Marnie's first time in 60-something episodes anyone's ever asked me a question. I'm just delighted this happened, so thank you for that. I would say what you're really trying to think about is there something proprietary that you're somehow submitting to an AI? So if it's about general, help me with, I don't know what, help me bake a cake, you're probably quite safe there. There is the case of, take me as a coder. You're kind of submitting enough information that theoretically someone could figure out what kind of data structure you have there. And if I worked in a big brand like Apple, it might not take too much information to triangulate. Am I a developer on the iPhone, or am I a developer on some other application they're building? So at that point, I suppose the question would be, do you have faith that when someone says it doesn't go to the user queries are not part of the training set, or something else, or whatever we read or whatever we're told, like, do you believe that's in full faith? I would have my doubts. So if I was like head of an engineering department or something, I'd probably be more like, they're getting GPTs of their own for engineering departments, where it's kind of, and OpenAI offer this, ladies and gentlemen, on the enterprise accounts, you can buy a ring-fenced AI that just means your user queries and prompts only belong to you. So that's how it happens in big cases. But Marnie, I think day to day, I wouldn't freak out. But we are out of time. You're right. All I will say, I don't send pictures of my kids up. I've seen pictures of kids in the as the action figures. I stopped short of that. So I wasn't willing to do that yet. Okay, Marnie, look, thanks for taking us through how to inject some more insight into your AI use. Ladies and gents, this has been Emma's Team Spirit.